Hi everybody, welcome back to the Chasing Psychological Safety video series. Today we're here to talk to you about hybrid working. If it's a term you haven't come across yet, it's one you will come across soon. So we mean flexible working, remote office working. So this is the permanent future of the way that we are working. Whatever's happening right now in your team, this is more than likely to be the future. We understand that that's a brave new world for lots of us, even though we've been in digital transformation mode since March 2020, really settling into that, understanding and realizing it's going to be the future and reshaping how we work with our teams is a step change, and we're here to help. So we wanted to give you some ideas today about that.
So this is the right time for all of us to really make a big change from the point of view of how we've been working. And I think a lot of us feel that. We see many HR teams and technology teams that are trying to figure out this new situation. At first, people were just in panic mode and responding to the changes, but now we're settling into what looks to be, as Fionn said, the permanent reality of work. And so what we see a lot of is a step where people are creating policies. If we are to use offices from time to time, how is that going to go down? If we are to make sure that our people are physically safe at work on Wednesdays, if they come in for meetings, how is that going to work? A lot of it seems to be focused on the physicality of it, whereas we think that this would be the right time to really take a step back and understand the concepts behind the new ways of work. And of course, we'll be saying that the number one thing that every team has to do and every HR department has to do is understand the importance of the bubble of the team and how psychologically safe they are, simply because you want to remain performant in a time like this. And of course, we will say that really importantly, you have got to do those one-on-ones. You have got to make sure there's no burnout, all of those deeper, how do we take care of our people issues. But beyond them, I think it's really important that HR teams take this opportunity, in particular if they've been tasked with creating these policies, to look at the concepts behind it. What is remote work? What is the difference between remote and flexible? What is the difference between flexible and asynchronous? Or how do we do outcomes-based work? All of those questions, this is the time to ask them. But if you want to start at one question, which we think would be helping the conversation go in a certain way, maybe the most important of them is to understand the difference between performance and whether or not you include productivity in that concept. So is performance the same thing as productivity? And what do those things mean to us as a company? How do we define them? When are we performant? When are we really kicking ass, if you wish? So if you really take a step back and figure those out, it frames the conversation. It forces you to think, what does it mean to be winning over here? Who are we making things for? It even takes you to the conversation towards values, internally, to the conversation towards values in terms of what you're making externally. It implies the conversation around agile. It does bring you to question, when is it that our people are in flow? When are they creating? Where are they in the zone? When are they happy? Because that's what makes them happy. Nothing else, no amount of money we're giving them can make them happy as much as them being in the flow and in the zone. So it brings you to those conversations, both internally and externally. If you do take a step back and you go, what is productivity? What is performance? How do we achieve those here? And only afterwards start thinking about how do we work? What are our ways of work? Is it on Wednesdays? Do we have enough hand sanitizer? Then you're probably better off than asking any other question.
And Dwayne has already talked about the policy side of things. You know, it depends on where you're at in the journey. Okay, so if you are not started writing a policy for hybrid working yet, now would be the moment to kick back. It would be the moment to say, maybe this isn't the way we want to do it as an organization. Could we please start by talking to our people first and taking this approach of actually having a conversation with our teams to say, how do we want to do this? If it's already there, or if it's partway through, that's great. You'll have a policy, but go back to basics anyway with the team. You don't want to waste this golden moment to be able to rethink and reset the ways of working with the team. So we mean sitting down, having that conversation, taking a breather, take the foot off the pedal with the work that you're doing for a moment say to the team that's okay, say to the organisation that's okay, give permission for that breather, and take the time to understand each other. And there's a couple of elements there. The human element is where you start. How do we want to do this? How do you feel about flexible working? What do we all need individually? And then there's the really practical part that falls out of that when you put it all back together and form your ways of working that are going to really put you in that place of flow, make you highly productive. So essentially what we're saying is, don't policy for the sake of it. Take a step back first and think about how you could do it to get the most out of hybrid working. So thank you all very much for joining us this week. We hope you've enjoyed it. Please view the video, let us know what you think, leave us some comments, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next week.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye.